Daddy Daughter Horror back again. Sean, little baby Emma, here for our next video. And it's going to be on the top, I was about to say best and worst characters. No, that was last week. Yeah. The top,
actually 2 weeks ago.
Or top 10 favorite kills, or favorite deaths, my bad. So, it could have been, I kind of played it off of deaths that were important or like pivotal to the storyline, or the ones I thought were the most emotional, or the ones that I thought were the best looking deaths or whatever too. So I kind of had a mixture of different things, not just like, oh, these are my favorite ones. They had different reasons why. How about you?
Well, yeah, same here. We're only on season 8, so I don't know, like, the other people that die and stuff. So these people were just, like, the ones that I thought, yeah, were good and had, like, different, like, ways how they died, rather than just, like, oh, a walker killed me.
Okay.
So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so it's top 10, but I have honorable mentions, so... Well, look at me. I have an honorable mention this time. So I have 3 honorable mentions, so we'll go through those. My first one, Shiva. R.I.P.
Aww.
It was sad, and she saved Ezekiel, Carol, and
Jerry.
Oh my god, I can't remember his name. Jerry. They would have died if Shiva wouldn't have came at that moment and jumped in that pit with them, and then she got surrounded, and that was the end. Very sad. Shiva was awesome, but she kind of like sacrificed herself, I guess you could say, to save them. My next one is going to be Spencer.
Know what I'm thinking, because I have a guess. It's because you got no guts.
Because it was Negan and it was awesome. He just sliced him open and the guts came out. It's just funny how he's talking about you don't have no guts, and then cuts him open and he's like, oh, my apologies, they were there. Pretty hilarious, of course, because Negan's awesome. But yeah, and plus he wasn't, if you watched our best and worst characters, he was on my worst list. So was he on yours too? Yeah.
He was like my favorite of the worst.
Because I had Aiden and him together as one of the worst. So, and then my last honorable mention is a duo. It's Sam and Ron.
Strong.
Bro, he hates them.
It was just funny to me because Sam got what he deserved. It gets on my nerves. I'm glad he got eaten like that. And I kind of put them together because they're brothers, and it happened kind of at the same time. Not the same way, but it was at the same time because, after that happened, everything's going, his brother died and his mom gets eaten too. And he just kind of like, he's all confused and stuff. So he's going to take that moment to try to kill Carl. And then Michonne right through him with her sword. Super awesome. That's funny when Katana goes right through him. I thought that was hilarious. But he does unfortunately shoot Carl in the eye.
Yeah, but he looks like cool with just one eye.
He does, but still,
yeah,
it's just one eye. That kind of sucks. Whatever. All right.
You ate that apple?
Yeah.
Man, that was my apple.
He found it.
So what, you just go around eating random apples?
My number 10 is Beth. It was shocking. Definitely, when the first time we were watching this, it was definitely shocking that she died, and the way she died. It was like real quick. You don't even realize what's going on. Stupid Dawn shoots her right in the head, like she's dead. Like it's over. It was crazy that they did it because the episode before that, Tyrese died, so it's kind of like crazy they did them like back to back. So and Beth was a pivotal, a good character. I liked her a lot, so I was very shocked and sad that she died. and the way she died, just getting shot like that, kind of unceremoniously. I mean, she's one of the main characters. Usually they have like a kind of a big death, like it's not just a all of a sudden boom dead thing, but that's what happened. So yeah, the number 10 is Beth.
Okay, so it's funny because my number 10 was one of your honorable mentions. It was Spencer.
No guts.
It's
Spencer.
yeah, it's like one of the, well, right now he was the only like guy who like got killed like that in my memory and stuff. And for me, that kind of reminds me of Dewey when he died in Scream. It's kind of the same. Sorry.
You gotta bring that up, really.
Well, that's just how it reminded me and stuff. And yeah, it was a cool death, I guess, because you haven't seen anything like that, because it's just mostly you're getting eaten by walkers. That's how you're dying and stuff. But then him, it was just different. He's got sliced open and stuff. Thought that was cool.
Okay, hey, you think that's cool?
Make him lick the toilet.
So my number 9 is going to be Lizzie. She was psychotic, had to go. Just shot a normal, like kill wasn't that spectacular, and of course they're not going to show like a kid getting shot in the head. But she killed her sister and everything. She was just not. I think she had mental problems before. Even if there wasn't an apocalypse, she would have been something wrong with her. So it is a necessary death, kind of, I guess, and it was just deserved.
Okay, my next one is Lori. Can you stop hating on my list?
I'm not hating on anybody.
Gosh, your faces. Well, obviously she's the only one who's died during childbirth, so that was interesting to see. It was obviously sad and everything, and yeah, I felt like that was like a good death just because she was like an important character, obviously, and stuff, and then you just see her die during childbirth, and then like she got eaten. Right, she got eaten by that walker.
Afterwards, like
so
eat her all up, which like you never see.
Weird.
It's just crazy that they did something like that.
So so I thought that was a cool death.
Okay.
What's your favorite movie?
Stargate.
What? Yeah, right.
My number 8 is going to be Dawn. For killing Beth. That was also quick too, and I think it was important to me because it was so quick that everything happened, but no one reacted that quick except Daryl. Like Daryl, I think him and Beth, after the prison had gone down, had created a nice little bond between them. I know they were arguing and fighting at first and everything, but I think they had a good little like big brother, little sister relationship bond going on. And then when Dawn killed her, Daryl took it upon himself just to shoot her right in the face. Like quick too. It was like reaction time was like automatic. So that was an awesome death because she deserved it, and I think it showed the importance of Beth to Daryl at that point.
Good little duo.
Thank you.
Yeah. So my next one is the governor. First, I was just happy he dies, but then also it was cool because just
The governor. Hold on, pause.
No.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were gonna sing his song.
I'm gonna put it in there.
But it's cool because I'm trying to remember the scene. I know how he dies, but I'm trying to think like he just like stands there or whatever, and then you just see like Michonne come out over and just like stab him in the back with her katana and stuff. So I feel like that's cool. There was more to that. Yeah, I know. I'm thinking.
Oh.
I just remembered now. I. That's all I remember. Is that how he dies, or like?
No, she was gonna let him go get eaten by walkers, but
Yeah.
what's her name? I've written. She his like lady that he was seeing or whatever came up and shot him in the head.
Oh, okay. So
Kind of put him out of his misery.
That's cool. I didn't remember that part, but I thought the part where he just got stabbed in the back of her sword was cool. So yeah.
I have a kitten that always laughs when you hold it and sniff its legs, and it's just great for a party when you can't mess around, and its name is Crazy Bennigan.
Oh, number 7 for me is going to be Tyrese. Sad, great guy. You know, you don't expect one of the good, awesome characters to die like that. He meant a lot to the show. I think he was a good person. You know, I know at the prison he was mad about what happened at first with what Carol did to his girlfriend or whatever and lit him on fire because of the sickness.
Yeah.
But I mean, like after the prison, he took care of Judith, which has got to be, you know, by yourself with a baby and having Mika and Lizzie also, like having to take these 3 kids around with you has got to be terrifying, and just you're a good person for doing that. And then luckily, you know, he found Carol too, so she kind of helped him. But yeah, him dying sucked. You know, it was like a big effect because he was one of the nicest guys, morality guy, and then of course Sasha. You know, how is that going to affect her and everything? But yeah, him getting bit sucked. You know, and he ended up dying. So.
Yeah.
Tyrese.
Okay. My next one it's 2, because it was just for it together as Lizzie and Mika.
That came from.
Don't worry. She'll come back.
Yeah, because it happens like in the same episode.
True. Well, it's
so
close together.
It's technically the same. So, I'm not trying to sound like weird and stuff. I was about to say it was cool that the way that Lizzie killed her sister. That just sounds weird, but it's just I'm trying to think of the words. It's just interesting that there we go. It's interesting that Lizzie just like killed her sister, and then the whole thing.
Well, there was reasoning behind it, right? It's not like she killed her sister.
I know, but she like stabbed her lots of times. I was like, oh okay. And then when Lizzie got shot, that was just look at the flowers.
I was gonna say hilarious. Look at the flowers.
Just look at the flowers.
And Sunny's back.
Yeah, so I felt like that together
was
a good. That together was a good death. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, but you're not the glue police, Rick. I am.
Number 6 for me is going to be the Motorcycle Savior Gang.
Wait. You know what? Yes, I am.
That they stop Abraham, Sasha, and Daryl in the truck and everything like that, and they're, you know, the main guy, I don't know, whoever he was, you know, he tried to he was going to end up killing Abraham and Sasha. He's gonna shoot them or whatever, and then out of nowhere, Daryl blows them up with like a rocket launcher. It's awesome. Yeah. That was surprising. A, and B, just how they blew up or whatever was super cool, and it was kind of like our. What else after they took out the outpost, right? The first time. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it was kind of our introduction to like the Saviors out on the road.
Yeah.
kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Not just at an outpost where they swiftly killed him or whatever. So that was interesting, a little bit, and I just thought the shock and the surprise of it was really cool, obviously, and the rocket launcher blowing up. It was like super unnecessary, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, and that's what he had at the time. So there we go.
Okay, my next one is Gareth.
But you cross someone's path. You do this to anyone, right? Besides, I already made you a promise.
I feel like the whole thing, that was just like the scene, like before he got killed, like that also has to do with his death because that was like a cool scene and stuff.
Yeah.
And like that whole thing happened, and then this Rick just like killed him with the
Did what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, so I feel like that was a cool death and everything, and yeah. I didn't feel like that was gonna happen at that moment.
Oh, like that. Okay, yeah, gotcha.
I felt like maybe like in a couple episodes something would have happened, but then when that just happened, I was like, oh, okay, he's dying right now.
The whole Terminus storyline went very quick.
Yeah,
it wasn't. It was only a couple episodes as opposed to, it could have been like a season long. You would think because look at like the prison was a season. Yeah. The Saviors has been going on almost 3 seasons, I think. So, it could have been a big story arc or whatever. It just didn't. I guess they just didn't want it to be. So.
Yeah. No big deal. Cool death.
Quickie kiki.
You gotta say your words right.
Gabachakity.
Listen, shorty, you can't do this the whole week.
Okay, so my number 5 is going to be someone you already mentioned, and that's the governor. I don't dislike the governor like you, but it was an important death and an interesting death. It was a long time coming. Like, when we first meet him, we don't really like him that much, but then he ends up mowing down his own people because he's like going crazy, and he just wants to kill Rick and his friends and take the prison. So, and then he kills Herschel. He cuts off halfway cuts off his head and then cuts off the rest of it, and he's fighting with Rick and everything like that. Like, yeah, he's an evil man. He needed to go, and his death was a necessary one. And it was cool, like you said, getting stabbed with the katana, just like your boy Ron. Hilarious, definite.
Oh yeah,
definite cool kill. And then, unfortunately, that's Lily. That's her name. She comes up and shoots him in the head. But Michonne wanted to leave him for the walkers to come eat him, which would have been a more fitting death, a more deserved death. But she kind of put him out of his misery quickly.
Okay. So my next one, I don't know his name because he wasn't a main character. He was there for like a couple minutes, but I felt like his death was cool. It was the guy that Jerry like sliced in half.
Avoid the obvious symmetry.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I forgot all about that.
I just saw the episode and I was like, that's a cool death. Definitely didn't like think that was gonna happen because like that was just an awesome death. Getting sliced in half with I don't know what kind of weapon it was.
Axe. He has an axe.
Okay, an axe thing. And I was like, that's awesome. So whatever his name was, I don't know what his name was, but that was a cool death.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. I'm glad you brought that up. That was an awesome kill for real. Getting cut in half with the axe. Realistic, I don't know about that. But yeah, it was super cool. Yeah. I like that one, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Yep.
You're like a dope fiend. Cluck went the chicken.
My number 4 is going to be Andrea. Finally was the only thing I could think when she died.
Oh.
Finally. she was a big character. I think she was one of the first big characters to die. Had been her the whole time. Of course, we had other people die. You know, we had Shane and Dale and Lori. Yeah, I get. Well, never mind. I guess not then. But whatever. It was good. She needed to go. I'm glad she finally went. The governor like kidnapped her. I think he tortured her and stuff like that too a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he killed Milton, and Milton became a zombie or walker, and then bit her. So deserved. I have something written down. Hold on, get my written down. But yeah, you know, as from our best and worst characters, we both had her on our worst. So you could tell we don't really care for her very much. So her leaving was good, and that's why it was a good death because of that.
All right. So my next character is one of my favorite characters. It's Shane.
Calm down. It's not what it seems. Please.
Okay, so I mean, it was the scene before his death that was also great. Like the whole thing when him and Rick were talking and stuff. That was just like a powerful, not like a powerful, but like intense scene.
Yeah.
And stuff. Like that whole dialogue is just great and stuff. And like for a moment you're like, okay, maybe Rick's not gonna kill Shane and stuff because he's like, okay, give me your gun and stuff, and then you see like Rick like pull out a knife from behind and stuff, and then he just stabs Shane, and then he turns into a walker and stuff. But I feel like that's just a cool death and stuff.
Okay, yeah, that's the point of it. Yeah. Cool series of events. Yeah. Okay, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Okay. World War II ended. I mean, excuse me, sir.
Number 3 for me, Abraham.
You're all gonna be doing that.
Oh, look at that! Taking it like a champ!
Fuck. My nuts.
I know you don't see the whole thing, and you don't even see. Well, you see nothing, something get hit or whatever, and then you see him like bleeding. And he tells him to suck his nuts or whatever. Hilarious. You know, and obviously it was a gruesome death, hands down. You can't even imagine like what the pain and everything that goes through with that. That's crazy, and everybody having to watch was also a terrible part of it. The main reason I kind of put it up as being, you know, an important death to me, at least, is it showed who Negan was. Just from that right there, you could already tell like he was not worse than all the other villains. Like, you know, the Governor's an evil guy too, but I think how much power that Negan had at that point, and how much they kind of got off beating everybody pretty easily. It wasn't too hard, but you could tell this is going to be different. And Negan was not the guy to mess with, and you know, it was a gruesome death, and he doesn't play around. So I thought importance-wise, it was one of the most important ones because it showed who Negan really was.
Okay. I'm on number 4, right? I'm making sure I didn't accidentally put an extra.
You're on number 3. I just did 3.
Oh, then I accidentally put an extra person then.
Okay.
Can I say an extra person?
Just
real
look
quick,
real
then?
quick. Yeah. You didn't number them?
No. Well, I counted them and stuff. And okay.
Put a number next to
so
them.
I guess I messed up or something. But like, one of them was Herschel.
Liar.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because that just was. And yeah.
Emotional.
I mean, yeah,
Sad.
that was sad and everything.
And how he died, you mean?
Yeah,
No.
how he died. Just freaking head. That's just. Ugh. Okay, but yeah, I guess accidentally. Okay, next one is another one of my favorite characters, or he was in my honorable mention. It was Noah. So,
No, you're not a big fan of that.
no, I'm not. But like, it's just, it was a cool death. It was different and everything. It wasn't just like, oh, he just got like bitten by a walker and then other ones came. No, he was stuck in the freaking door and then they just all came. But it was Nicholas' fault because he had to come out the door and not listen to Glenn and stuff. So, but I just feel like that was a cool death. That was like not a good. But yeah, that was my next one.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Good one. So my number 2
Here we go.
is Shane. Biggest reason, obviously, he was one of the main characters from the beginning. Rick's friends. The kill itself wasn't that great, but the impact it has. I think from that point, old Rick died, and he became new Rick from that. So that set him on this path to become the Stone Cold Killer that he becomes, and a guy that doesn't take crap from anybody anymore, doesn't really trust that many people because of his best friend kind of turned his back on him, tried to kill him, everything like that. So the impact of that one was one of the biggest ones on the series itself. So that's why I have it so high. Shane, I don't care for Shane, but it was an important death, hands down, and it put Rick on the trajectory to being the badass that he is. Number 2.
All right.
Are you back on? Are you back on right now?
Yes. I'm good now. Okay, my number 2 is Joe.
Right over here! What the hell are you gonna do now, sport?
He got his throat ripped out by Rick.
Oh, Joe. I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And that
Joe.
was just
His Joe.
that was just I definitely did not see that coming. I thought, I don't know, something else would have happened, like a walker came out of nowhere, or like someone shot him or something, but not getting his throat ripped. That's just, oh my gosh.
That's Rick.
I've killed people.
Yeah.
Badass. Anything it takes.
Yeah, I mean, that whole like scene, that was like just interesting, intense, just very nerve-wracking scene, I guess you would say, because they're all in a position where because Daryl was getting beat up.
Yeah.
Him and Michonne were had guns to their head, and then Carl, that whole thing was. So yeah, that was a cool death. Different. Yeah. I mean, when you see walkers do that,
oh, unique. Well, yeah, because they bite. You think you expect that kind of stuff.
But then when you just see Rick do that, I was like, okay.
Let's go, Anthony.
Okay, my number 1, I think, is probably the most impactful death in the Walking Dead series, and that's going to be Sophia. What do you think it'll be, Glenn? No one cares about Glenn. Sophia was big because is an impactful death for various reasons. First off, like the whole season, that's what they're doing is looking for Sophia. They have no clue if they're gonna find her or anything like that. Daryl's made it his life mission to find her, and then it's Wawa. Wawa's back. Olive oil. It's Wawa. Wawa. But he. So, that's what he's been doing all season is trying to find this girl. Everybody's upset because, it's a kid. It's not and when they open the barn door, it's not the first kid walker you see, but it's very impactful because this whole season they've been looking for her and they failed, obviously. When Rick ran after her and then, found her and put her in that one spot and told her to stay there, like, he kind of knew, like, that's not good. She's not, like Carl or anything like that. She was like a timid, little girl. Mm-hmm. So that, and it was very sad, obviously, and then Rick killed Walker Sophia, and like I was saying about the Shane, how it kind of turned Rick into what he became. I think seeing Sophia die also kind of tried to make Carol start moving in that direction as well. Her not her whole life, but most of her life, she had her husband, abusive husband, and she had her daughter that she loved a lot. Yeah. Her husband, it gets killed, which I'm sure she, wasn't really excited about. But then, she loses probably the most precious thing to her at that point, which is her daughter. So it kind of changes her mentality. I think it messes her up a lot, but then she becomes a very badass character, a little bit after that to where she's saving everybody and everything like that. A very important character in the whole series. So I think that's the best death because of that.
Yeah. I forgot about that, but I didn't forget about it, but I was like, okay, well, my number one is two people. It's Abraham and Glenn.
Wow.
You're all gonna be doing that. Back to it.
Ow.
Bro, stop hating! The way I see it is that people are too focused on, like, how Glenn died, that they're not, like, forgetting that Abraham also died that way, but he's always getting overlooked.
Well, I think it's more graphic. You saw Glenn after that first hit with his eye popped out and everything. And I think the fact, because, he's with Maggie and she had a baby, she was pregnant. So I think they feel bad because of that than Abraham. And Abraham was kind of like a big, tough guy and everything like that.
I know, but still, it's just like, when you think of that scene, you only think of, like, Glenn, most likely, rather than both of them. Like, they both die the same way, kind of, and stuff. But yeah, that, that was just so sad.
Well, also, I think they probably thrown that more, too, because at the season finale before, you see someone's going to die. So once Abraham dies, you're kind of like, oh, okay, cool, everybody else is safe. The Glenn was out of nowhere.
Well, yeah.
Because of what Daryl did. You weren't expecting two main characters to die. So I think that kind of might have been why, too.
Good point, but
thank you.
The way I see it, it's just like I feel like Abraham always gets overlooked, but I could be just saying that.
Why are Dingleberries brown?
Why are Dingleberries brown?
But yeah, and I feel like that's like what you said about when you put Abraham down as yours. That's like a good introduction to Negan, not the whole group, and Negan himself, to be like, you can't mess with me, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. And I think Glenn emphasizes that too, because like I said, one person dies, like, oh my god, this is terrible. Negan's a terrible guy, and then 2 minutes later, he's killing Glenn too, and you're just like, wow, crazy.
Yeah.
Breaks Rick, as you saw, it broke him for a little bit.
Oh yeah, that was sad too. But yeah, I feel like when you just think of a Walking Dead death, I think that's just the first one that pops in your mind, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. Just
because that one's just so.
And they're traumatic. I think a lot of people kind of are upset about it and seeing it and everything like that. So.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's my number one.
Okay, that's a good one. Good pick. I had that too, but I didn't care about Glenn. So that would have been good to put them both together. That's actually, especially with the point I was making, that was a good effort. Okay, that was nice. Good job.
Yeah,
I liked them. Liked it a lot.
Wait, I have one thing to say.
And you were confused about my first pick, but whatever. Go ahead.
It's just like I wouldn't. think you were gonna pick that.
I
I don't
think
know
it-
who you're gonna pick, but I did
Yeah,
not think.
I
you were
think
gonna
it was
pick
the most
her.
impactful. That's why it wasn't the gruesome. You didn't even see her die.
Mhm.
You saw her walker die, but
Yeah.
so like some of mine, they weren't like the coolest kills. The coolest kills was that motorcycle gang one. That was awesome, but I just think the impact and emotion ones are more important to me than seeing an actual cool kill.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, that was a good list. I appreciate them. Good job on you. Next week, I don't know. We can think. We'll think of something definitely to do. And then we'll make that one next week, and we'll see you guys next time.